In this video, we're going to do some Java coding, and we're going to explore the use of the if statement. And we're going to do an if statement with some Boolean expressions and some compound expressions. So we're going to solve this challenge right here. Write a Java program to prompt the user for the name of their state and the city they live in. If they live in San Antonio, tell them that you are their neighbor. If they live in Austin, tell them they live in the capital. Anywhere else in Texas, tell them you hope to visit. Outside of Texas, ask them if they want to move to Texas. So, and we're going to use an if statement to do this. In order to do this, we did there's a different video that has an example of a switch statement. So in this case, we're going to use an if statement to explore how if statements work with Boolean relation operators and the logical and operators. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. We're going to come over here to JDoodle and start a new Java program. Okay, we start here. I'm just going to go ahead and put in my I've copied the challenge here a little bit just so that we can have that on our screen. I'm going to get rid of this default. Okay, so here we have our default Java program. I'm going to name this state. We'll call it where I live. Okay, that's what we'll call our class. Okay. We're going to need a scanner because I'm going to ask the user for two pieces of data. So I'm going to import java.util.scanner. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and start typing here. So the first thing I need to do is define the scanner. Scanner sc equals new scanner system.in. Made an error there with the period. Get rid of that. Okay. I think I've spelled all that correctly. Nope, spelled scanner wrong. So, okay, so that should work. Then I'm going to do a prompt. I'm going to prompt for the name of their state and the city. So I need two prompts. System.out.println. What state do you live in? I'm just going to tell them I'm just going to give them a little note there that I just want to, I misspelled out a line. So let me fix that. What state do you live in? And I'm just going to say, just give me two. I'm just going to do XX here just to say I want, as an indicator that I want two letters, not the whole name of the state. Okay. Then I'm going to read this in. So string state equals scanner.nextLog. Okay, I'm not going to cast this, but I'm just going to read it right into a string variable because the data I want from the user is a string. And so I'm going to just store it right in a string. So if I was trying to read numeric data here, I might use a parse value, but I don't need that in this case because what I want is a string value. Let's do the second one, which is the name of their city. So I'm going to do another prompt. Okay. And then second string. Okay. Let's go ahead and compile that. Okay, I've made a mistake. Line 17, Java, where I live, .java line 17 right here. It says cannot find the symbol system.out.pt. So I've just misspelled print line there on line 17. So let's go ahead and fix that. It should be print line. Okay. Let's run that. What state do you live in? Okay, I'm going to say Texas. What city do you live in? Should be the next question. San Antonio. Okay. So that's all the code I've written. So that's the end of the program. Okay, so now we'll do the rest. We know that our inputs are working. So now let's go ahead and do the rest of the challenge. So I'm going to use an if statement. If they live in San Antonio, Texas, tell them they are your neighbor. Okay, so let's do an if statement. If my Boolean expression is if the state equals TX and the city equals San Antonio, then that's what I'm going to, that's going to be what I'm looking for. So I can do, and I'm going to do this as case sensitive. So you're actually going to have to type TX uppercase, San Antonio with proper case. So So I'm not worried about the case insensitive test here. These are strings, so I'm going to have to use the dot equals function built into the string, not the double equal equality function. Okay. So let's do this. If state dot equals tx and city dot equals San Antonio. Okay. Then do something. Say system.out.println, you are my neighbor. Okay. Let's see if that works. And then we'll code the rest. I've made an error. System does not exist. Line 20, it's because system needs to be uppercase. Okay, I put it in lowercase. I should have noticed that because of the color coding should have tipped me off on that. But here we go. What state do you live in? Texas, San Antonio. You are my neighbor. Okay, that's great. Okay, so now we have some more up here. If you live in Austin, Texas, tell them they live in the capital. Anywhere else in Texas, tell them you hope to visit. So let's do else if state that equals Texas and city dot equals Austin. Okay. Then I can say system.out .println, you live in state. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and run that and see if that works. Texas. And the name of my city is Austin. You live in the state capital. Okay. Notice though here that we have state equals tx and state equals tx twice. The third one that we write is anywhere else in Texas you hope to visit their town. So really what we have here is we have three of our if statements, three of our Boolean expressions are going to be if the state equals Texas. So instead of having to type that over and over again, I can just do a nested if statement here. So I'm gonna rewrite what I've written. Okay, this is called refactoring. As I've written my code, I've discovered that I think there might be an easier way. So I'm going to go stop what I'm doing. I'm going to go back and change this a little bit. Okay. What I'm going to do is instead of having state equals Texas 3 times on 3 if statements, because I'm about to write another one, I'm going to go back and refactor this a little bit to do just one statement. If state dot equals tx, okay, then I'm going to do San Antonio, Austin, and other, right? So if city dot equals San Antonio, okay, then do something else if city dot equals Austin, then do something else, do something. Okay. So now now this saves me some coding because instead of coding state equals tx, I've already coded it twice down here. I was about to do a third time. Instead of coding it 3 times, I can just code it once. Let me just cut and paste my if statements up here, and then I'll delete that. Okay. Now, when you're refactoring, you got to be really careful to make sure that you kept your blocks lined up right. So I was very careful not to delete or add too many of the curly braces. Okay. So make sure you got your curly braces lined up properly. Let's run this to make sure I didn't break anything. Texas, Austin. Okay. All right. Seems to be good. So now we can say, I can go ahead and add the third value here. So if it's not San Antonio or Austin, then I want to say, I hope to visit you. System.out.println. I hope to visit there soon. Let's just put in the name of the name of the city that they're in. So we can just put in the city. We can use some concatenation here. Okay. And then the last thing we want is you live outside of Texas, ask them if they want to move to Texas. So if state is not equal to Texas, then I want an else here. So I'm going to put an else on this if statement. Okay, I've already got an else on these internal if statements for city, but I'm going to put an else here. System.out.println. Would you like Texas? Okay. I'm just going to answer. We won't actually try to get them to enter a response there. Let's run that and see if we've done that well. What state do you live in? Texas. Let's say I live in Lubbock. I hope to visit Lubbock soon. Okay, that's right. That's what we wanted. We run it. We say I live in. Let's say I live in let's say I live in Kansas. Okay, but I live in Austin, Kansas. I don't know if there is such a place, but this, even though the city is Austin, because the state is Kansas, we should get here. Would you like to move to Texas? All right, that seems to work. Okay, so then we're going to save this. This is where I live. Okay, always make sure we save our work. And then this example is concluded.